Hello, welcome to Tangerine. This is
Tangerine
Mario. Oh god,
on your Switch, right?
Yeah. It's funny you should mention that. I have my Switch OLED in front of me because I'm downloading. I've downloaded the F-Zero 99 that they just announced at the Direct.
Right.
So I've got the Switch OLED downstairs, and I never play on it. So I was like, you know what? I love F-Zero, and they haven't done anything for it in like 20 years. And I was like, well, I'll try out this new mode, but I haven't had a chance to launch it up yet.
What about F-Zero? Like, did you like? Because I never like interacted with it.
The soundtrack.
Okay.
That's my experience with F-Zero, to be honest with you.
Right.
I'm not like a huge F-Zero fan.
Okay.
I love I have a racing soundtrack, and the first song is Mute City because it's just such a fucking iconic song. Like, it's such an awesome song. Yeah, I was just gonna jump into F-Zero on the 99 mode. But
the best mode.
That's the thing between, like, every time I look at the Switch OLED screen, I'm like, oh my god, it's the screen is so much better than the Steam Decks or any of the other like handhelds that you can get.
Oh, now I was going to ask actually, because we're on actual Switch at this point. So the Switch OLED, like, how long does it last on battery?
I think it's about the same.
About the same. Okay, interesting.
Because they've done some like sneaky revisions on the actual Switch where they've shrunk the die.
Yeah, they got more. It's entirely more efficient from that as well, right?
Yeah. I think it just, and then they just turned any extra performance into more battery life, pretty much.
Because like I feel like obviously like OLED is like.
I think like for example, like most handhelds you're running at like 15 watts, and then you know 20, 30 watts is your like plugged in modes for those Z1 Extreme chips. I think the Switch runs at like fucking like 7 watts or some shit. Like, it's super.
Okay,
all they care about is battery life. Let me check.
Basically, like I feel like it sounds like the OLED side of it, like it probably takes up more than the LCD, but like I feel like it's not too much degradation where it still makes sense.
Let's have a look. Switch power consumption.
I mean, this really is the Tangerine before the Tangerine.
Oh, I've talked about this in the podcast briefly.
Yeah.
So when it says here, it says, I want to know the handheld pull. Undocked, Switch only, 8.9 watts.
Okay, right.
And then minimum brightness is 7.1. Docked, it pulls 11 watts, and I think the maximum wattage it can pull is 18 watts.
Right. Okay.
So like the Switch is just tuned for longevity and battery life, and
which is
along with that you get much better acoustics as well. Like, they just want the Switch to run a really long time, and not sound like a turbo engine. Like, that's what's very important to Nintendo compared to, you know, like these rock allies or Novos, where you're just gonna be, you know, have the traction engine. I'm playing like the first level of the game, like the first or second level of the game, and I'm just dying to the bonus zone here. Okay, let's talk about. I have notes for this. Let's talk about Super Mario 3D World. So this is a Wii U game, and they released it on the Switch, where they added a brand new game along with it called Bowser's Fury. My initial quick thoughts are on Super Mario 3D World is I think it was a game of its time. It sort of was like you had these strong 2D games, like you have the new Super Mario Bros. Games on the DS and the Wii, and you know, where they're these great 2D games, and then you had you know, later on you had these like Odysseys that were coming out, or like your Mario 64s or your Mario Sunshine or whatever, or Galaxy, which were like these amazing 3D games. Super Mario 3D World kind of exists somewhere in the middle, where it's like half a 2D game, half a 3D game, and it sort of tries to mix the two, and I think it's never quite as good as one as the other. It always feels like it's pulled between these two things. But you have things like these old school ideas where it's like, oh, you're in a 2D level, you need to be on a timer, but then you'll have this 3D idea. It's like, well, we should put a ton of exploration into the level. And what happens is I'm constantly like, I want to explore, but I can't because I'm running out of time.
It's so much so that there's because I was watching some of the, let's say, I think some of the later levels, right? But there's like levels with, or a lot of levels have extra time items, and it's like you shouldn't even need that.
Like going back and playing this after playing Odyssey, I see a lot of Odyssey's DNA inside this game. But there's some genuinely really fun stuff in here. Like I love the collection stuff, getting all the stamps and the green stars. Like there's genuinely a lot of fun to be had with this. But I think like especially some of the later levels, I was just like, this is way too flipping hard for no reason, and I don't know like why. Like you saw me playing some of the like late levels, and it was like it was like champion. It was like the Champions Road from Odyssey that I played. I think there's a Champions Road in this game as well. Spoiler alert, I did not play Champions Road in this because you essentially have to get all the collectibles and all of the green tiles and stamps, and I like getting those, but some of the later levels were like so frustrating that I was like, I don't want to play that again.
And I thought the bonus levels after like completing the game just like were not that fun.
Yeah.
At least what I could see of it, not actually playing it, just like it didn't look fun, I should say.
This is also, so one thing I should mention, this is the first appearance of the Captain Toad minigame. There's an entire game made after this called Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. The Captain Toad minigames in this game are super fucking fun. I love them. I played this game and I was like, oh, I want to play Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker now, because every time there was a Captain Toad mission, I wanted to do it. Essentially, you control Captain Toad, who I don't know what his first appearance was. He was in Galaxy, and he gives you random. I was going to say moons. Stars. It's always stars until Odyssey. It's different in Bowser's Fury, by the way. They're not moons or stars. I'll have to look up the deep lore of Captain Toad.
Yeah.
So look. Yeah, Super Mario Galaxy, I think, is the first place he appears.
Okay.
What was I saying? What were you saying?
You're not collecting green stars in this game.
Yeah, you collect. So each level will have a certain amount of green stars you have to collect in order to unlock it. But I never found I was really running out at all. It was never to a point where I was like needing to farm them. But I generally try and get collectibles as much as I can, unless I'm like, oh shit, I'm running out of time, or the level is really frustrating. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna end it. There's also cool power-ups in this game. Number one being Cat Mario, or as I believe he would probably be called, Meowrio. I don't know if that's his official name. Because you said, okay, so the final boss of this game is Cat Bowser, and you're like, it's Cat Bowser, and I was like, no, he's actually called Meowser. Like officially in the lore, he's called Meowser.
Yeah, I didn't realize I accidentally called the wrong name.
The cat suit in this game is super useful. I feel like it's maybe the Golden Tanuki suit is like the assist mode, but the cat suit in this game is so strong that I feel like it was definitely designed with newer players in mind.
I feel like
it essentially lets
you go back and get the cats. You got the cat suit for the really hard missions, right? Or the really hard levels.
Yeah, when I got to a really hard mission, I would usually just go back to World 1, which gives you like a bunch of cat suits for free, and then grab those and then take them to the harder missions. Like, the hard missions in this game are called like Flower World, mushroom worlds. Like they're in the sky and they happen after the, I guess, canonological ending of the game. So the final boss is Meowser. So you fight Bowser a couple of times, and then he takes the cat power up, and then you have to fight him in his cat form, and then when you defeat him, that's the ending of the game. That's where I recommend most people probably to say, hey, I've finished with this, let's try out Bowser's Fury. Because
yeah,
that's the point where I'm like...
Side note, we're looking at 2D, 3D big of a problem where you're trying to aim for this tree and missing. Yeah,
this is another thing I'm talking about, where it's like...
Yeah.
I'm moving in 3D with like 2D constraints a lot of the time, or moving in 3D with 2D constraints, and it's not always clear which one you're being held to.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you're not being held to any of them. It's just like it just you deal with it. It's your problem.
Yeah, I mean another cool so we have a return of the Tanuki suit from I believe it's 2 or 3. I've played the first original Super Mario Bros. On the Game Boy port of that, but my knowledge past that point is not very good. But then we have probably my least favorite Mario power-up ever, which is the Cherry power-up. And it's not because it's a bad power-up by any means. I think it's because the Cherry power-up basically clones Mario. So whatever form you're in, you get 2 versions of him. I hate controlling more than one character. And I know that it's technically a benefit because if one of you dies, then not both of you die, but there's a couple of collectibles in this game where it's like, oh, you need 4 Marios to stand on this platform at the end of the level. You need to platform throughout the entire level with 4 Marios, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Because I heard you're playing this game like I don't think you were streaming at that point. You're just like, oh, I hate controlling more than one Mario. And I was like, what do you mean? Is then you need to control more.
Well, you need to for collectibles. I mean, there's no level that forced you to use the Cherry power up to complete the level.
But to get the collections.
Yeah.
I still feel like all collecting.
Like I do think the Cherry power up is a cool idea and concept.
Yeah.
I think a lot of like Super Mario 3D World has stuff that's like, oh, that's a cool idea, let's try that. And then it's like, oh, well, that doesn't really work that well in concept. It's like they try to make this like 2D, 3D hybrid, and I think there's some stuff that's really fun, and then there's a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, this didn't really... Like, Captain Toad missions are great. Riding on this weird like dinosaur thing down a hill is always really fun. And he also makes her come back in Bowser's Fury as well. There's always like these weird fucking everything's on a timer. So like you're always on like a timer when you're on a mission, and then you'll have these you're like, oh, you go into this room to get the green star, but you have 10 seconds to kill everything in the room, otherwise you can't collect the green star, and you've got to restart if you want to try and get the green star. It's like, well, okay. But then there's these entire levels. There are like collections of these 10-second missions, and they get like increasingly harder. And the way they work is the way the collectibles in this game work is nice because if you collect it once, you don't have to collect it again. So if you get a green star and you die, you don't have to restart the entire mission. You have that green collectible, and you will get it as soon as you finish the mission, which is nice.
Right. Yeah.
But these missions where there are a bunch of like these 10 seconds grab the star minigames strung together, even though you collect all of the green stars you get so far, in order to retry to get the later ones, you have to do them all in a row. So you always have to start from the first one again, complete it, and get to the next one if you want to get the one at the end.
You don't just restart at one, you have to do the whole. So
you have to do if you want to get all of the collectibles on those missions, you essentially have to do the perfect run on it, where you have to complete all of the missions within 10 seconds. And some of them get like quite challenging. I did notice like, you notice at the start of the game, like it's designed for multiple people to play. I don't know if it's balanced around more than one person playing. I doubt it would be, but it did seem like they were thinking more about co-op with this game. Like I think there is more of a co-op element when it comes to the like the Mario Bros. Games, and again, this game, something it doesn't tell you. Every character controls completely differently. So, for example, Luigi jumps higher. Rosalina can do like a spin dash in midair. I think Mario's just like a well-rounded character and is quite fast.
Right.
So
but the fast one is that you done the speedrunning one.
Yeah. But yeah, there's essentially like a bunch of different characters that are not cosmetic, and they control it completely differently. And I was like, oh, I got to the end of the game and I unlocked a new character and I tried him. I was like, wait a minute, the characters have controlled differently this entire time. I just picked Mario because I like Mario. I thought it was like a cosmetic thing, but it turns out it is not a cosmetic thing. But they're changing that with Wonder that's coming out soon.
Yeah,
they're gonna make it cosmetic. Yeah. But yeah, so I beat Meowser. I did all of the extra bonus missions, and then there comes a point where to get to Champions Road, which is, you know, the challenge ending of 3D World. It's like you need to collect every single green star, you need to collect every single stamp, and it was like by that point I'd gone through enough missions where it's such a pain in the ass just to finish the mission that it was like, oh, okay, I don't really want to go back and get all those. Like, I'd rather go off and, you know what, I'm kind of done with this 3D Mario 3D World. I'll go and play a less stressful game. I'll start Sekiro instead. You know,
and that's what it started. But like, you only want to complete stuff if it's like fun to do, right?
Yeah.
There's no point.
That's how I see collectible. Usually within like the first, like I would say like 5 to 10 hours of playing a game, I know whether I'm going to 100% the game. Like immediately, as soon as I started 100%. Playing Odyssey, I was like, oh, I'm going to 100% Odyssey. This is really fun. And I think they went all out in rewarding exploration in that game. Which I'll talk about more when I talk about Bowser's Fury, which is fucking amazing, by the way. But usually Champions Roads, because it pains me to say this, Tony, but there was another Captain Toad's mission on the Champions Road and I didn't get to play it.
No.
There was another one of those fucking CBT missions where it's a bunch of minigames strung together that you have to do perfectly, which I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, they're all annoying. Like, I feel like it's like a string of annoyances. It's like, you know what?
Yeah, I think 3D World's generally a fun game. I mean, I was so shocked when I was looking at the soundtrack, because I was like, oh, you know, the soundtrack's really good. I mean, it's a Mario game, and the soundtrack's always a bit of a banger. And I was looking at the soundtrack, and people were like, oh man, I'm so nostalgic for this game. And I'm like, didn't this game come out on like the Wii U? And then I looked at it, and I was like, wait a minute, that was like 10 years ago. And it's just like, man, like there is kids out there that are nostalgic for this game. And I'm like, holy moly, we're getting old, aren't we?
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel young.
Yeah.
Young as
a skeleton.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've always been a skeleton.
Yellow boy at heart. But yeah.
Exactly.
I did the Champions Road in Odyssey, and I did not feel the need to do the Champions Road in Super Mario 3D World. But let's...
We can see the bones, because you're saying that you can see the bones.
Oh, here's the Captain Toad's mission. Quickly.
Okay. You say you can see the bones and like the fundamentals that could have led to Odyssey, but it's a bit of a...
So Toad controls differently. Toad can't jump. You can only sprint.
Oh, it's like a challenge. Okay.
So basically you have to push buttons in order to basically... And it's like this cool like diorama you can look around.
It reminds me of one of those indie games, but I can't remember which one it is.
You're thinking of Little Golf Journey, right? Like that vignette style, maybe?
No. Like we rotate.
Like
a cuboid.
Yeah,
world.
You're thinking of.
It's like very important. It's like a perspective changing game.
Yeah, I know the exact game you're talking about, but I can't remember the name. Moncool or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, these missions.
I like those games though.
These missions are genuinely fun, and I would recommend doing them all.
Is this the first one, or is this like a later one?
I think this might be the first one.
Okay. Because like it seems like simple, but like so kind of broad. That's why I quite like them because like it just I like you have this small world.
I came to do my ratings for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and I said no, I'm going to rate them separately. I rated Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury really differently.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like a lot of because technically it's a DLC, right? We're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, to play Bowser's Fury, you just go right on the main menu screen. I could not for the life of me figure that out.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you unlock Bowser's Fury? Do you have to finish 3D World? You can just play Bowser's Fury straight away if you want to.
I bet there's a lot of story-based DLCs where it's like it is basically like its own game, like it's launched from the main game, and should probably be rated
Let's
separately.
talk about Bowser's Fury. So, man, it's like a 3D World expired expansion for Mario Odyssey in all the right ways. It's like it took all the lessons from 3D World, put it into like an Odyssey wrapper, and was like, let's make a really fucking compelling gaming experience. It was like, I think this game's like perfection. I think this is like a 5 out of 5 experience. I think this is so much fun. I love the you know I love Odyssey, but I love the way that 3D Mario games have been going recently with this and Bowser's Fury. I think these games are just so much fun.
I think they're fun to watch as well. I would say as a watching game enjoyer.
You've got full control over the camera, which was pissing me off constantly during 3D World. It was like, oh, here's another auto-scrolling level where I have to stand still waiting for the camera to show me the platforms I can't see to jump on.
Most games that do that let the camera, like if you go ahead, the camera will catch up, not just you have to wait for the camera. But I guess not Mario.
Yeah, basically, in this game, Bowser's been corrupted by this ink that makes him furious, and
it's like ink in the Bendy and the Ink Machine.
I guess, yeah, it's a direct sequel to Bendy and the Ink Machine. I'm just testing out the moveset here. I'm just like, oh, the movement in this game is really good.
So they changed it from the base game, let's say.
Yeah, it's closer to Odyssey. It's not full Odyssey, but it's pretty close. I was just trying to. What was it? You definitely feel the missing of like being able to do like Cappy throws and dash to Cappy and jump off Cappy. Yeah. Like Odyssey's definitely the goat of movement, but this is like pretty good. But yeah, Bowser. He's bloody pissed.
Yeah, that was a good way to introduce him. That's really good.
It's like this is like a very light game, but it's almost got some like dark tones to it. Like it's not quite like Majora's Mask. Like Majora's Mask level is not the same as this, but it's like I was comparing it in the same way. You have like the moon constantly looming over you. Yeah, it's very similar in that way, where Bowser is constantly looming over you in this game, where you go from, oh, I'm gonna explore and collect these cat shines, and then suddenly every now and then you'll see like this spinning inky turtle shell in the background, and then Bowser will come and attack you, and you either have to run away from him or fight him, and it'll like change the world. And as you collect these cat shines, it powers the lighthouses, which let you damage Bowser. And then there's these cat bell shrines, which then take you into a full-on boss fight, like Godzilla, like kaiju level boss fight with Bowser.
That's cool.
I have some footage of that, so I'll show you later.
So is that Bowser in the background there? Like
yeah, he's like constantly in the world.
And that is actually Bowser. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was a cool shell that kind of.
And as you cleanse Bowser more, it unlocks more of the world.
Right. That's very cool. I like that.
And
I love the darkness of the world, though. It looks great.
But one of the really cool things about 3D World is you could hold 2 power-ups and switch between them, and it meant like, oh, it's good to use Cat Bowser here, or it's good to use my fireballs here. In this game, they were like, oh, it's really cool switching between the different Mario power-ups. Why don't we just let you hold a bunch, like 5 of them each, and just switch between them freely? Wouldn't that make way more sense?
Did they add another one here? Am I just misremembering how many there were
No.
in the base?
No, this is as many as in the base game.
Okay.
You have Mushroom for Big Mario, Tanuki Mario, which lets you glide and spin tail dash. You have Boomerang Mario that lets you throw a boomerang that comes back.
A boomerang, okay.
Fireball Mario, classic. And Cat Mario from 3D World.
Yeah,
so
Boomerang, I forgot then.
Here's an interesting mechanic, is that Bowser Jr. actually wants your help because his dad's gone out of control, but he's also like the assist mechanic in this game. So Bowser Jr. will actually like run around and help you pick up coins and attack enemies for you and stuff like that. And you can actually set how much you want him to help.
Okay, interesting.
So I started out with him helping a little bit, and then I actually just turned it off because I was like, oh, I'd rather just collect this stuff myself.
Yeah. Basically, like if you're having issues or you're younger, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it immediately gives you like the camera options.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I turned the camera sensitivity up a bit as well, maybe later on, but I found it was a bit too low for me initially. I turned it on a little bit because I was like, I wonder like what he does. You can also have Little Brother mode where you tear apart your Joy-Cons and get someone to play as Bowser Jr.
Right. I do like the assist or like the accessibility options. It is like an actual character in the game. I do quite like that, and that adds.
Well, it's like in Odyssey for 2-player mode, someone could play as Cappy.
Oh, that's cool.
So here I'm using gyro controls to just get him to go and attack things, which is something you can do with... So
just like, if you don't want to fight it, so this is like a good way.
Well, there's like a graffiti you can send him to, and it'll unlock like a little collectible. One thing in the world... There is one thing in the world for collectibles where you find these shines, and... they're protected by these like Bowser blocks, and in order to get them, you need to basically get Bowser to breathe fire on them. So basically, you have to run at them while he's attacking you, and then get him to try and attack you and blow them up, which is like, is fine, but there's quite a lot of them. So you like here, he's collecting all the coins for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I kind of want to collect the coins.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a part of accessibility. That makes no sense.
But what I was saying was, it was quite annoying to farm all these out because it was like I constantly have to wait until I'm being attacked and then run to this area to go and destroy them. But it's like I found out apparently there's an amiibo you can get that just summons Bowser. And I'm like, God damn it, Nintendo, with your stupid fucking amiibos. Just making the game, like, way easier with amiibos.
Yeah. But it doesn't affect the game if you don't have
you can just, just wait for Bowser to spawn, but it would have been a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like, these enemies, this is a standard enemy in 3D. Like, he just killed the enemy straight up for me.
Wow, he's a little bit of help.
But these are like, a lot of these enemies are just the enemies in 3D World, and I think they've been repurposed in such a good way.
Yeah, they look right.
Yeah, there's the, this is like the mini moons from Odyssey, where you collect 5 of them and it gives you like a full shine. But yeah,
okay.
My biggest complaint about Bowser's Fury? My biggest complaint.
Too short?
It's too short. I want more of it. It is like
I was thinking it's like DLC length.
To 6 hours. I 100% of the game. So I beat the game accidentally because I was like, Bowser kept attacking me, and I was like, right, I'm gonna go fuck up this guy. So he stopped attacking me, and then I was like, oh shit, I accidentally completed the game.
That's right.
But you can, once you beat the game, if you collect all of the shines, you get to fight Bowser again in his Giga mode, where he's a lot more powerful.
Like Super Saiyan mode.
Yeah, I mean it's not like a champion. It's not Champion's Road level, but it is a bit harder.
It's still the true challenge.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. You can send Bowser Jr. to investigate, and it'll drop like power-ups.
Oh, I see.
Tony, it's a game about exploration. Where's the timer? Where's the mandatory timer I need?
That's great. Is there a good map for this this game as well?
Okay. Tony, Bowser's coming.
Map keep popping up.
Bowser's so immediately the music changes. It starts to rain, and in the distance you can just see Bowser's shell start spinning. And you're like, "Oh fuck, the moon's coming. It's about to get dark. What's going on?" And I thought maybe this would get annoying because I'm in the. Again, I said there's no timer, but there's kind of like a Bowser timer. It's just like, oh, time's up. Bowser's attacking. But I loved this feature. I thought maybe I wouldn't like it. I thought it was amazing. You have all this great exploration, but it's constantly broke up by these like intense combat sections where you're just like, oh shit, I have to run away or grab a shine. Immediately grabbing a shine will send Bowser away. So as soon as Bowser attacks, you're trying to just be like, I need to get to a lighthouse. I need to get one of these shines. And it's like
it's like just the next checkpoint almost.
Yeah, but it's like, but it completely changes the world. It adds like these new enemies and these like optional platforms. Like Bowser attacking is always fun because it's like, well, how is the world gonna shift around now?
Yeah, you got less time, but and it's harder, but you've got more options.
Yeah. I mean, when Bowser's attacking, you can just say, oh, but, F it, I'm just going to wait it out. And you can just wait it out. And he will eventually just go.
Right. If it's too difficult, you can always just wait. Okay.
Yeah, when you want to travel on water, you get Lappy from 3D World, who gets, you ride across him, and it feels really fun to go and explore that area.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's show some boss.
Boss time.
Again, the map's really good, and it also shows you where you have missing shines, and you can teleport around as well. So you can be like, oh, I've explored this area. So as soon as you explore an area, you unlock the ability to fast travel to it.
Oh, okay.
Because it starts to get
I like that.
It starts to get bigger. So here we go. Giant Meowrio.
Oh my god. It's giant Clank level.
Yep. Oh yeah, big time.
Oh my god, why are you a cat?
Super Saiyan Meowrio. And it's time for the Elden Ring boss fight. I was like, maybe you just attack him. I'm like, no, that's not what you do.
It's kind of cool because you saw Swagger the level. I kind of like that in the background.
Yeah.
That's kind of
and every
cool.
single cat, because there's multiple cat bells around the world, and when you're in this mode, unlocking more cat bells becomes your power up refresh. So when you get hit and you turn into the smaller Marios, you can go and pick up the little bells you've unlocked and then use them to go back into your bigger Cat Mario form, getting more of a health bar.
That's cool. Like that.
And this is the basic fight, because this is the start of the game fight, but eventually he starts getting way more move sets every time you fight him. That's what I was talking about there, where you can refresh your fight against Bowser.
Yeah. No, that's a really cool idea, especially if it gets harder and then you have more chances.
Yeah, he'll start spinning at you.
Okay.
And you have to dodge him. He'll start pounding down, you have to dodge multiple waves and stuff like that. And then that sends him flying back, and then that unlocks a new area.
So does this make him more furious? What?
Oh yeah, he's just Super Mario Bowser's getting more pissed off.
Okay, so you defeat him, but it's at risk of more fury.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, unlocks more of the map and more stuff to explore. Bowser's Fury is a treat. It is so fun. It is so concise. It is so well made. And I would highly recommend it to anyone. Here he is, my boy.
You wish they just sold it as a separate game instead of it as attached to another game.
I mean, maybe they thought because it was so short, people wouldn't get it if it wasn't attached to like a remaster.
Possibly, yeah.
I think it could have been a standalone thing.
Just make it cheaper, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the map. Okay, that's cool. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I like that.
But yeah.
Oh, it's called a Giga Bell. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Go and fight Giga Bowser.
Giga Bowser, Giga Bell. That's a great name. I'm looking forward to the Terra Bell next.
Go and find these lost cats for this cat mama.
There's
lots of cats in this game, and you can pet
the land.
You can pet the cats with gyro controls.
Oh, that's cool. But I said you got like cat gateways. It's like basically the land of the cats.
You see me here trying to kill that poor kitten. The button to pick up things is also the button to attack. It's a classic Mario. There's 2 buttons.
On one button. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, baseball. Get the ball.
Oh
yeah, whenever you're wearing the cat suits, the cats will come towards you and rub against you. But otherwise, if you're not wearing a cat suit, they'll run away from you.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Super Mario 3D World, a slightly flawed Mario game, kind of.
What was your stars for the base game compared to the...
My stars for the base game were 3.5 stars.
3.5. Okay.
And my stars for Bowser's Fury are 5. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see this being a 5 out of 5 for sure.
I was like, why is it taking so long for these platforms to change? And then I realized they change when I jump.
I was thinking the exact same thing, and then you jumped. So, okay.
But here, like, I've got Bowser assist turned off, Bowser Jr. assist turned off. I could see, like, having Bowser go across and pick up some of these timed coins for you might be useful if you're not, you know, the greatest at platforming, but you still want to play the story and try and advance. But I didn't, like, as soon as I did a couple of attempts of this, I was like, oh, I got it now. Like, I don't need to, I don't have to use it.
You had the fun in improving yourself. I feel like a kid would like. Maybe get
by the way,
it's good that it's optional.
In the 3D plus Bowser's Fury universe, you don't get lava on your bum and go hot, 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 and run around. Lava's just insta-death. Right. Like half the Mario games, lava is like hot, 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 I'm gonna run around, and then the other half of the Mario games, they're insta-death. And it's like a mixed bag which one it's gonna be.
It depends if there's fire-resistant trousers or not.
Oh, okay, there it is. I'd hope so, with throwing fireballs like that.
Yeah, it's part of the deep lore. You have to read the Mario Compendium.
Yeah.
No, this is a great game. I actually, I had this why want to play them because like the base game, I was like, I don't really see myself wanting to play this, but like this actually looks.
I love this just random shines in the world where I'm like, I just want to. I don't even care how I'm supposed to get this. I think if I jump from this building with this power up, I could probably get it, and it just opens up that exploration I have whenever I play Odyssey, where I'm doing stuff like the race missions, where I'm like, oh, I need to get to this point, and I can get there however I want. And obviously, there's like a path that they intend for you to use, but it's like, well, if I go this way, I can actually shave off a lot of time. It's just like, I love games where they just reward creative exploration.
Yeah.
And Odyssey and Bowser's Fury are those games.
I think as well, like, what's important is that they give you like, I guess, like breadcrumbs to help you. Like,
it's like a sandbox, and they give you the tools to, you know, do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's my review for Bowser's Fury and 3D World. I would say generally check out both, but definitely check out Bowser's Fury. Like, if you're gonna play Bowser's Fury, you have to get Super Mario 3D World because of the bundle
Yeah.
they're tied together. So I recommend just trying it at least, and maybe just playing up into fighting Meowser, the final boss. Some of the challenge levels are just not fun, but there is always the white Tanuki suit, which is like the assist mode that lets you it makes you literally invulnerable. I didn't know this a lot of the time using it. I was like, oh, it makes you jump higher and glide a bit longer. And I was like, wait, I can stand on spikes. I'm literally invincible when I use this. So yeah.
Right.
If you get stuck,
the void,
if you die 5 times in a mission, it gives you the white Tanuki suit. It gives you it as an option to take if you want to. You don't have to take it. But yeah, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.